one-on-one, and their videos are uploaded. Whereas when they are standing having a debate one-on-one, they don't get much interference. But when we get on the ladders or on the stools, then whilst we are speaking, sometimes we have 5 or 6 people try to heckle us. So it's not very easy standing up, you know.
Well, I know that is the reason why, but essentially I wonder for a few months or a few years, there'd be no one else getting from that is giving speeches.
Yeah, as you say, times change.
Times they do indeed.
People change. And sometimes habits change. The way people interact with other people. So this is the main thing now. Stand on the ground one-to-one and start speaking, you know. So, anyway, can I ask you something? Thank you very much. Very nice of you to let me have a chance of speaking with you. Now, I see that you have the flag of, is that the Palestine flag?
Israel and Palestine.
Okay, so you got the Israeli flag and you got the Palestinian flag. Do you believe in the rights of the people in Israel?
So the rights of the people in Israel?
Living in Israel.
Well, the people in Israel should have rights, as well as got rights, yes.
Okay, so those people in Israel, whether they are Jews or whether they are Palestinian Muslims.
Israeli Arabs, I call them.
Okay, Israeli Arabs. Do you believe that the Arabs in Israel have rights?
Yeah, they do have rights.
Okay.
In Israeli law, everyone is considered equal.
Okay, they are equal.
Yeah, but there are a few things which favour the Jews. For instance, every Jew in the world has got a right to return.
Okay.
But the Arabs in the world haven't got a right to go there.
Return to where?
To Israel.
Okay, so you are saying every Jew has a right to return to Israel.
Yeah.
Okay, do the Palestinians who have been sent away from their land, do the Palestinians who have been thrown out of their houses, do they also have rights to come back to their houses, come back to their lands in Palestine?
What I would say is Palestinians should be able to go back to Palestine. What people generally call the West Bank of Gaza, but that's Palestine. Yes, they should be able to go and live in Palestine. And Israelis, Jews should go and live in Israel.
Okay. And also the ones you call Israeli Arabs, can they also live in Israel?
They do. Israeli Arabs do live in Israel.
Okay, can I ask you, is it true that the Israelis, the people of Israel, they have taken over Gaza and they have taken over Palestinian land?
What do you mean? There are no Israelis at all in Gaza.
Okay.
They all came out in 2005, I think it was. The Israeli government brought all the settlers, all the police, all the army out of Gaza.
Okay, so do the Israelis, they think that the Palestinians, the people in Gaza have rights? Okay, thank you for that. So why do the Israelis bomb the Arabs in Gaza and in Palestine?
They only do that when the Arabs in Gaza fire missiles in Israel, Israel always fires back.
So, is it true? You'll be quiet. So, is it true that more Arabs, Palestinians get killed than the Jews?
Yes, it's absolutely true.
So is it true that more Palestinian children get killed by Israeli strikes?
Yeah, it's absolutely true.
So why are they killing children?
Because the Arabs fire missiles in Israel, and they've got better missiles. Hamas and Islamic Jihad fire their missiles right next to schools, knowing full well that the computer in Israel will fire a missile back where that missile came from, as we're allowed to in international law. So because of that, more Palestinian children die. Also, many Palestinian parents, some of them very good people, some of them send their children to fight against Israeli soldiers. I blame the parents rather than soldiers who accidentally kill someone.
Okay, you know there's a war going on. between Ukraine, between Russia and Ukraine.
Yeah, Russia.
Okay, so when Russia sends missiles or bombs towns and cities in Ukraine, do you agree with that?
No, it's absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong.
So you said when the Russians bomb people in Ukraine, bomb the cities in Ukraine, bomb the towns in Ukraine, you think that's wrong?
Yes, absolutely.
But when the Israelis, they bomb the people in Gaza, when the Israelis, they bomb the Palestinians, you think that is right?
Only when it's done in self-defense, and that is the only time it ever happens. They don't just go and bomb there. When Palestinians fire missiles, Israel fire back. But Ukraine never fired any missiles at Russia. It was just Russia into Ukraine. Same as Palestinians attacked Israel in 1948, 1967, and then individual terror groups like Hamas, Islamic Jihad, have individually fired missiles at Israel, and Israel always fires back, but Israel never starts a war.
But why did you take over Palestine, Gaza? Why did you take, like the Russians are doing, you've done the same thing.
I'll tell you, in 1967, there was an Israel, internationally recognized, and there was an Arab state, they called it Jordan then, the West Bank of Jordan. 5 Arab armies invaded Israel in 1967. They started the war. Israel took the land from all those countries and said, if you make peace with us, you get your land back. When Egypt, who'd lost some land to Israel, made peace with Israel, they got their land back. When Jordan, who'd lost land to Israel, made peace with Israel in 1995, they got their land back. The Palestinians are told time and time again, when you make the peace deal with Israel, then you get your land back.
Okay. Is war good? Are killings good?
In self-defense, of course, but not just attacking, but in self-defense, yeah.
So you said in self-defense is good. So when the Israelis bomb the Palestinians, when the Israelis bomb Gaza and the children get killed, innocent children and women get killed, do you think that's good?
I blame the Palestinians. Do you know, I'll explain it in progress. The Palestinians used to first send suicide bombers to Israel to blow up buses and cafes. So Israel built a barrier, a high fence all the way around it. So then the Palestinians started firing missiles over it. So then Israel built a thing called the Iron Dome that could shoot down a lot of them. But it can only shoot down a smaller number. So when the Palestinians start firing missiles, Iron Dome can only stop some of those missiles, can't stop all of them. So the only way to stop it is to fire missiles back to deter the Palestinians from firing missiles at Israel.
But you killed so many people more than the Palestinians killed.
Yeah, okay.
It's not right, is it?
I'll tell you the reasons why.
Why?
Israel protects its civilians.
Yeah.
They built bomb shelters for all their civilians. The Palestinians have never built bomb shelters for their civilians. They put a fence up to protect their civilians from suicide attack. They built the Iron Dome anti-missile thing to shout down the missiles. Because of that, Israel can protect itself from all those missiles.
Are you in Israel helped by countries from outside?
Are we helped?
Yeah.
Every Western democracy has diplomatic relations with Israel.
Okay.
Many countries sell weapons to Israel. Germany, America, Britain, various others. Because they know the Arabs keep attacking Israel.
Yeah.
So for self-defense of Israel, they regularly give them weaponry, yes.
So you are being helped by the...
defense, yes.
For defense.
Yeah.
So with those weapons from different countries, when you fire those weapons into Gaza, into Palestine, and in that, do you accept that the innocent Arab Palestinian civilians, women, there's a camera behind you, yeah. Do you accept that when the Israeli forces fire the missiles or airstrikes, fire those weapons into Gaza, into Palestinian territory, and many civilian women, many innocent women, Arab women, Palestinian women get killed, many innocent Palestinian children get killed. Do you think that's good?
No, but I blame the Palestinians. You pointed out Israel always fires back. Hamas, they know that when they fire missiles in Israel, Israel is guaranteed to fire back. So I blame Hamas for stupidly firing missiles in Israel rather than negotiating a peace deal. Because they could. They are Muslims, they follow the Quran. In the Quran, I'll quote you from the beautiful Quran, it says, if your enemy is
Hold on, bro.
In the Quran it says, if your enemy leans toward peace, you also lean toward peace and rely on Allah.
Yeah.
And if Hamas did that, there'd be a peace deal. But Hamas did not do that.
But
Because of that, Hamas falls in Israel, and therefore Israel is duty bound to protect its civilians, so they have to fire back.
Okay. Do you believe that
Israel's
Hamas,
countries.
do you believe, brother camera behind you, do you believe, do you,
one at a time.
yeah, okay, we're talking, yeah? Okay, hold on, young man, okay, that's fair, okay. Where were we? Okay, do you believe that Israel will be always there?
According to the holy books, yes. And I trust Allah more than I trust any politician or terrorist leader.
Okay, okay. So, you believe that Israel will always be winners in wars?
It will always be there. They'll be attacked again, yes, but they won't be defeated. Then the Israelis will die.
Where is it written that they won't be defeated?
I missed that.
You know, when you said that Israel will not be defeated, where is it written that Israel will never be defeated?
It says in the prophecies that the children of Israel will return to their promised land.
Yeah.
It doesn't say they will then be kicked out.
Yeah.
What it says was they will be attacked again. In the Jewish Torah we call it the war of Gog and Magog. In the Christian Bible it's a war of Armageddon.
Yeah.
And yes, the nations will attack Israel again, but God will intervene and save Israel. That's what it says, and I trust God's prophecies more than anything else you or anyone else.
What's the name? Brother Jazakallah. Sorry. So you made me forget. Okay. Just let me carry on. What's the name?
What's the name? You say, what's the name?
And I forget now. Okay, anyway, let me go to a different question. Okay. Iran. Many people think that it is near to developing nuclear weapons. Do you think if Iran develops nuclear weapons, do you think Israel will still win?
Yes, because when God says Israel will be attacked and Israel and it even says another prophecy from God to the prophet Amos says, I will return you to your land and you will never again be uprooted from your land. Now I believe that. To most people they'd rather follow Al-Qaeda, ISIS, etc. But I only follow what God says. He's the only person with the prophecies and I trust him absolutely.
Thank you very much for that. We Muslims, God Almighty, we say Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What's the name of the God you are mentioning as a Jew?
There's only one God, you can call him whatever you like.
No,
there's only one God.
As a Jewish...
And it doesn't matter. We've got lots of names for him.
No, that's what I'm asking you.
Lots of names for
That's
him.
what I'm asking you. We Muslims believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is God Almighty. As a Jewish gentleman, what is the name of your God? Is it Jesus?
No.
Thank you.
Jewish,
Thank you. You're Jewish. Yeah, but the Christians believe that Jesus was...
Well, ask a Christian, fine.
Please, we are
Jewish.
talking.
There's just one God. You can call him God. You can call him the Almighty. There's lots of names for him.
Okay.
Doesn't matter the name of what he called
Okay,
him.
let me ask
It's
you.
the one God.
Yeah, you mentioned Germany and other countries in the West. They are helping you with weapons.
Yeah.
And even up to now, there are many Christians living in the Western countries which are helping you.
Yeah, that's right.
All right? Now, those Christians in those countries, they believe Jesus was God. as a Jewish guy,
Some of them say that. Some say he was the Son of God. But carry on.
yeah, you are right, right. But many say that Jesus is God. For example, the Catholic Christians, okay, who are the vast majority of Christians, they say Jesus was God. Now, and as a Jewish gentleman yourself, do you believe that Jesus, who is supposed to have been a Jew, do you believe he was God?
No, I don't think
You're still stuck on this.
So stop, man. Let's talk.
Every time you come.
Yeah, yo, come on, alcohol.
Ignore it.
Okay.
No, Jesus did exist.
Yeah.
They got
A
lot of
most
colonies.
Jews don't like him because he's the founder of modern anti-Semitism. All the bad things he said against Jews,
Yeah.
that's what's always used against us.
Okay.
You know, they say, oh, we're the Christ killers, and Christ is God and we killed God.
Okay.
So yes, because of that, we don't like Jesus. But he's good for the Christians.
Okay.
Yeah, bad for the Jews, but good for the Christians.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You said
You know it's gossip.
that Jesus was anti-Semitic.
No.
Oh.
He's the founder.
Okay.
His teachings created anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
So most of the
Absolute
anti-Semites,
I never realised how
would use
dim
the
you are.
quotes from the Bible against us.
It
So,
really is.
so if you are blaming Jesus for the anti-Semitism,
Which came later, yeah.
came later, okay, what came later? From people who say they believe Jesus is God.
Yeah.
So they are anti-Semitic. All right.
Well, not necessarily, because don't forget Jesus was a Jew. You
Yeah.
can't be anti-Semitic if you think Jesus was a Jew.
Did you say Jesus was a Jew?
Yes.
So are you trying to tell us that the Christians believe that a Jewish man was God?
Yes. No. Well, you have to ask a Christian. They believe that Jesus was Jewish. Everyone knows Jesus was Jewish.
Okay.
As for whether he's the Son of God or God or just a prophet.
Okay.
That's different Christians have different views.
As a Jewish gentleman, can you, as a
Sorry, carry on. I can hear you.
as a Jewish gentleman, do you believe that a Jewish gentleman can be God?
Not really.
Depends
no.
what you mean by God.
I agree with you there. Okay. Yeah, no Jew
Can Muhammad
ever
be
be
God? Can
God.
Muhammad be God?
We agree on that. Okay. Another thing. Excuse me. Hey, nice,
Carry on,
okay.
carry on.
We are talking nicely. Let us keep talking.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so the countries which are supplying you with weapons, the countries which help you in the United Nations, okay, they believe that Jewish Jesus was God. Many of them.
Some of them.
Many of
say
them.
he was the Son of God.
Yeah, Son of God, God, whatever. But they believe a Jewish man was God. Okay.
All Son of God.
Can I ask you, you Jewish people in Israel, you don't believe Jesus was God. You Jewish people in Israel, you don't believe that Jesus was a prophet.
Why you
Be quiet.
Muslims believe Jesus
we're not
as
talking.
Messiah?
Look at this.
They don't believe.
We're not
They don't
talking
believe
to
Jesus
you.
as Messiah.
Keep
But
out.
Muslims
Keep
they believe
out.
Jesus as Messiah.
Keep out.
Because the Bible says
Keep
from
out.
Genesis to Revelation,
Christian.
Messiah is coming.
Oh,
Messiah is coming.
Hey,
Messiah is
quiet.
coming.
Yeah,
So Jesus is Messiah.
Christian gone mad.
He's
Quiet.
Cameron, he's got
I know.
Yeah, you be
I know.
quiet.
You
I
made
know.
your point, you said I'll be
Manners,
Yeah.
manners.
Okay, so back to you, yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Why Muslim? Why Muslim
stop.
believe?
Let him speak.
No.
Let him
Stop.
Give me the answer.
Don't you have that?
Give me the answer
We
first.
are talking.
Why Muslim?
Look at this Christian.
Jesus as
Hey,
Messiah.
be quiet.
But the Jews, they
Be
don't believe
quiet.
Jesus as Messiah. Why Muslims believe
Why
Jesus
don't
as
you like-
Messiah?
Don't talk to me, don't talk to me.
Yeah, but
I
okay.
can hear you.
Thank you
I can
very
hear
much.
But the
Okay.
Muslim,
Carry on.
I'm asking that.
Okay.
Muslims,
What point?
why
Okay.
Muslims
Sir,
believe in Jesus as Messiah?
Carry on.
I can't
talking.
carry on.
I'm listening.
Okay. Sir, thank
The
you
Jews,
very
they
much.
don't believe Jesus as Messiah.
Okay.
Ignore him,
Okay.
just talk.
Okay.
Talk.
Yeah, I like to talk. Why? Okay. Anyway, thank you very much. Okay. Okay. Now.
Address the
No.
answer.
No. Let me carry on. These Christians don't have manners. Yeah, easy.
See, Christians keep interrupting. It doesn't. No.
Yeah. So be quiet.
I was quiet.
Okay.
I was quiet for a long
Christian,
time.
be quiet.
I was quiet
We
for
are-
a long time.
We are talking Christian. Let us talk. Christian, let us talk. We are talking nicely.
About
Hey,
Jesus.
keep quiet.
I
The
can
Jews,
hear
they
you.
don't believe
Okay,
Jesus
okay.
as
To
Messiah.
me.
Okay.
Why Muslim?
Okay.
Why
Sir,
Muslim? If he says
Sir.
that they are same as
you as a Jewish
why
gentleman,
Jesus
you
is
have
Messiah?
more manners than this Christian preacher.
This man has a
Okay,
manner.
thank you. Okay, now, sir, so why is it, I want to know, as a Muslim, why is it people who believe in Jesus, the Christians who say they believe in Jesus,
Yes, as a
why is
Messiah.
it
Yes.
that the Christian countries are helping you, Jewish people, who don't believe Jesus was God or a
I'll answer.
prophet?
You got the question out eventually. I'll answer.
Yeah.
In the Jewish Torah, which is the Christians call the Old Testament,
Yes.
which Jesus said is valid.
Thank you very
it
much.
says-
You are right.
Yes, it says, "I will bless those who bless you,
Yes.
and those who curse you, I will curse."
Okay.
Okay, and if you look through history, it's happened all the time.
Okay.
When countries looked after the Jews, those countries have prospered. When they persecuted them or kicked them out, their economy's gone down, civil strife. So many have eventually worked that out. So many countries say, even if they don't like Israel, they want God's blessings, so then they will help the Jews.
Okay. Can I ask you? There are religious Jews.
I'm listening to him.
So the Muslims
There are-
bless the
There are
instead of talking
there
against
are
Israel.
I agree, but
there are religious Jews. Okay. And those religious Jews very well dressed, also have good manners as well. Do the religious Jews believe in the state of Israel?
most of them do.
No, they
most of them,
don't. They
vast
do
majority, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay,
There's
so,
a tiny number that don't.
okay.
I'll answer that. There's a tiny number that don't.
Yeah.
There's a group called Naomi Carter. There's a group called
There's a camera behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll answer. Lies. Just shouts
Go on.
We heard you first time.
Okay.
I'm answering. I'm answering.
Okay, let him talk.
It's sad when people are like that. They just shout out the same thing.
Okay, let him talk.
Again and again.
Come on. Come on.
Okay, during when Hitler came to power,
Yeah.
Oh no.
some Jews said, we've got the opportunity to go to Palestine, the ancient promised land.
Yeah.
Let's go there.
Yeah.
But some Orthodox Jews said, oh no. According to our rabbis,
Yeah.
we shouldn't go back to the Messiah comes.
Yeah.
Stay in Europe. God will protect you. If you go to Palestine, Israel,
Yeah.
God would kill you all.
Yeah. Okay.
Hang on. The exact opposite happened.
Okay.
Those who stayed in Europe were killed by the Nazis.
Yeah.
Those who went to Israel, Palestine,
Yeah.
thrived and prospered.
Yeah.
Now most
Except
of
for the Palestinians.
most Orthodox Jews have said, sorry, we got it wrong, and now they recognise Israel. But some
Brother, let me finish.
some of those Jews who gave that really bad advice about staying in Europe,
Yeah.
they are so traumatized,
Okay.
they don't want to accept the fact that their bad advice
Yeah.
led to so many deaths.
Okay.
They are still trying to pretend they were right,
Okay.
even though they clearly were wrong.
Okay. Do you think that the United States of America, USA, will always be a superpower?
No, oh well, it may all be a superpower, but it won't always help Israel.
Right. Okay. So you said that USA will not always help Israel.
Yes,
Why do you say that?
because there's a prophecy
Yeah.
in the Old Testament and in the New Testament that all the nations of the world will gather against Jerusalem and
Yeah.
attack it.
Yeah.
So therefore, obviously, the ones who at the moment are friendly with Israel,
Yeah.
if that prophecy of God is right, and they always are,
Yeah.
they are going to turn for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So one day America will join the attack on Israel.
Yeah.
And God will defend us.
Okay.
But not till all the bad Israelis have died, because it said many Israelis will die but not all of them. God will stop before they all die.
So are you saying that some Israelis are bad?
Yeah,
So are you saying some Jews in Israel, they are bad?
yeah.
Are they minority or are they majority?
Well, that's for God to judge.
Okay, sir, can I ask you?
I would say the majority at the moment are good.
Okay, can I ask you? Supposing Iran develops nuclear weapons, do you think you can fight with Iran?
With God's help, absolutely yes.
Okay, with God's help.
Actually, even without God's help, just Iran, no problem. It's only with all the nations together against Israel that's going to be a problem.
No, but let me,
Iran, no, I've got no problem.
but let me ask you. If they have nuclear weapons, if Iran develops nuclear weapons,
Yeah.
then you think you still have a chance with them?
Did you know that Israel has for years
Yeah.
already got nuclear weapons?
Okay, okay,
Lots of them.
okay.
A lot more than Iran's ever
Okay,
going to get.
okay, let's
So
say-
I'm not worried.
Okay, let's say, may Allah forbid, may God forbid, let's say you drop nuclear weapons on Iran, and let's say Iran drops even one nuclear bomb. You think Israel will still be left standing?
Yeah.
How?
Exactly the same as Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Hiroshima and
No,
Nagasaki?
but-
Have you?
Still
I'll tell you.
he is
Have
heavy
it
on
quiet.
10 Muslim countries.
A nuclear bomb.
Still he is heavy on 10 Muslim countries.
Israel is this.
Okay, brother, Jazakallah.
Israel is heavy on 10
Oh,
Muslim
be
countries.
quiet.
I'm trying to answer your question.
Muslim
Okay.
countries are all
All
around
quiet.
Israel.
Israel is this.
Okay.
Israel.
Jazakallah, sabr.
Thank you very much for saying
Do
this.
you want to listen?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. I'll
Jazakallah,
answer.
brother.
Are
Yeah.
you ready to listen?
Yes.
A nuclear bomb was dropped on Hiroshima and a nuclear bomb was dropped on Nagasaki.
Yeah.
And they're both
By the
completely
Christians.
rebuilt. They are both completely rebuilt.
Christian.
But, brother, but Japan was a big country. Israel is a small.
It's dangerous.
But Israel, brother,
10 Muslim
but
countries,
Israel is a small country.
Yes.
Okay.
get the name
I'm
of
being
Israel.
quiet,
They get
man.
destroyed.
Pardon?
A few
10
cities
Muslim
get
countries
Oh,
are
because-
around
be
Israel.
quiet.
They are trembling.
Look at this
They
chapati
are
Christian.
always trembling
Be
at the
quiet.
name of
Okay,
Israel.
okay.
Yeah, I heard your point.
Okay.
But there are many, many cities in Israel.
Yeah.
Some of them could be destroyed by nuclear missiles.
Yeah.
But not all of them.
Okay, did you just say that some cities in Israel will be destroyed by...
No, not will be. I said if there's an attack from Iran, I'm not saying it's going to
As
happen.
you said.
I said if Israel sends nuclear missiles, all they could do is destroy a few cities
in Israel.
in Israel.
Or maybe
not saying they will, maybe it is.
Okay,
Like you said, that could happen.
how many million Jews in Israel?
Oh, more than enough.
How many?
About 6.5, nearly 7 million.
Oh, nearly 7 million. So you think 7 million against hundreds of millions of people on the other side? You don't stand a chance.
We do.
You don't.
God always said he's going to defend us.
Yes.
But you don't.
Never ever forget that bit, even though
That
you
is
seem
the
to forget it
prophecy.
each time.
But
In
That is the
small
okay.
wars, in the small wars, Israel can defend itself.
Are you-
When all the nations go against Israel, then we'll need God's help as well.
are you a Jew?
I have answered you several times.
I'm a Muslim. I don't know. Forgot. I'm a Muslim, sir. I'm not trying to insult you. I want to know. Are you a Jew?
I've said so many times I am, but I'll tell you again.
Okay, thank you very much. Sir, how comes I have been in a Jewish house, invited by the Jews, the long-haired Jews, religious Jews. How comes the religious Jews, the practicing Jews, they have long hair and they put a hat on their head?
Have to, but yeah, you
But how come you don't have long hair?
I'll
Why?
tell you why.
Why?
In a hat, long hair. It's not in the Bible. It's not in the Torah. That is a man-made one by the rabbis.
So are
That's why I follow only God. If rabbis want to make other laws, fine.
So
You
who
show
are-
me in the Bible where it says you've got to cover your head.
It's
It
okay.
doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't.
I'm just asking you.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you, are the long-haired Jews, the religious Jews, are they the majority in Israel?
No.
They are a minority.
Minority.
But did you know that the long-haired Jews, the religious Jews, their birth rate is higher than yours?
They're what? Yeah, I know. They are the least educated people in Israel. They have huge families. They send their children to religious schools. They don't know mathematics or science. Yeah, it's bad.
But-
and they are going against the Torah.
But
You're supposed to educate your children. They don't.
But in the future time, okay, in times to come, those religious Jews will keep growing. While, let me finish. While you Jews will keep coming down. So when it comes to elections as well, those religious Jews, they will have more members of parliament and more power, more vote, okay, than you. Then don't you think you will have a problem in the Israeli parliament?
Okay, I'll answer that.
As who's going to be the ruler of the
I'll
Jews?
answer that.
Yeah.
I don't believe they're sects, they're like cult sects of Judaism.
Yeah.
The black hats and the black coats and the white shirts,
Yeah.
they're cults.
Yeah.
It started 150 years ago only, that cult.
Yeah.
And it's falling apart already.
Yeah.
Do you know, they reckon 30% of people, those people like that, don't even believe in God.
Okay.
But they're born into those sects, their entire life is in those sects, they don't get a secular education, only a religious one, and they've set up organisations, these people want to get out, but they're struggling because they're so badly educated.
Okay.
They know the Talmud,
Yeah.
but they can't, a lot of them can't even read and write properly. It is falling apart. People are now getting mobile phones.
Yeah.
The young ones are getting mobile phones.
Yeah.
They're seeing what the rest of Israel's like,
Okay.
and they don't like their sects
Okay.
they're in. They are trying to get out of those cult sects.
Okay.
So they will fall apart of their own way.
So you are saying the religious Jews will they'll fall apart.
Just those sects. I specified the black coats, the black hats, that's all. The others are religious like me. We don't wear the pantomime clothing. We just like normal people.
But at least when
we are religious.
Yeah.
But those are cults. They follow their cult leader.
Yeah.
They've all got a rabbi that is their cult leader.
Yeah.
They are beginning to fall apart.
That's what you're saying. They are falling apart. But they are growing in numbers.
Now, at the moment they're growing in numbers, but they are falling apart.
Okay. Now, you know, in your last government,
My last what? Government.
in Israel, in the last government,
Yeah.
they even had some Arab members.
Yeah, every year there's always Arabs in the parliament.
So in other words, now,
Democracy.
okay, so that's it. But now to form a government in your Israel, you even need the help of some Arab members
Yeah, that's good.
to form a government.
At the moment, yeah.